Puma, man, I mean, we talked a little bit about him yesterday, the two-time NASL winner, and that's an incredible feat to win a tournament back-to-back. He's won IEM before as well. This guy is so good. He's the perfect turner, and I was looking at like the potential weaknesses of Puma, and there are hardly any.
No, there really aren't. There's a reason why he's called perfect when it comes to talking about his Terran, especially versus Protoss. He really is incredibly good in that matchup, which is honestly why we ended up seeing such an amazing final for DreamHack. Puma versus Hero, which was very close fought. The 1-1-1 build, Puma is very much known for it. He executes it incredibly well, and he doesn't tend to make mistakes. And we saw him power his way through his group yesterday. Absolutely, and
I do like what we're seeing from Puma here already with the supply depot just on the ramp here. And the supply depot acts as a prevention to Bischu to scout what the hell is going on here, because he could be going for the refinery. He could be going for that 1-1-1.
Yeah, and he's going to be thinking in the back of his mind, that being Bischu, that this 1-1-1 may very well be deployed. At this point, it's not, because of course it is a gasless expansion build here from Puma. Bischu doesn't have a clue. He is completely in the dark about that, unfortunately. He's going to have to play safe and standard.
Yeah, I mean, he can just walk up there, and just upon seeing the Marine there on the lower ground, that's like an indication that this isn't a 1-1-1, because Puma's actually not afraid to hide it. He'll be up the ramp, he's like, whatever, come on, come scout it. And upon seeing that, and he may, or I was going to say, he may be able to run around it, or try to run past it, but it's okay. Upon seeing that Marine, he should be feeling okay, and a regular style will always come out of Bischu. He's a very solid, macro-focused Protoss player, so we should be seeing, as we are now actually, a one gateway expand here, and then added on gateways, robotics facility, very similar style to Bling, actually, and that's not a joke intended. And he does actually scout that bunker knowing what is going on, really.
Yeah, he's well aware of it now, certainly. So we should feel fairly safe to expand. The Nexus has been put down, and he'll poke around the place, just make sure that he's got a bit of map control, and also try to hold up against any kind of nonsense. There's an SCV, interestingly, hidden all the way down there. Admittedly, it's not in the base, and getting access would be a little tricky. But if Bischu decides to push out, which he currently is, there is an opportunity here for this SCV to go for it. And you just see how perfect Puma's timings are here.
Yeah, I mean, he's basically expecting a Stalker to be there and to be poking at the front of the ramp to check the Marine count. So he's going in as the Stalker's meant to be leaving, but it's a fine timing for what's going on. And Bischu does let the SCV in, doesn't decide to throw down a force field to prevent the scout. And I think it's worth it, to be honest, but he will reveal the robotics facility, which I think is a little bit silly. He could have just killed the SCV, then thrown it down to keep Puma in the dark, but he chooses just to keep his build optimal. And as I say that, he hasn't even gotten rid of the SCV. The SCV's like, all right, I guess I'll stay if I'm allowed.
Yeah, he's just chilling over here right by the smoke, and unfortunately that probe can't see through it. A little bit of a disadvantage. The pylon is down at the front, so we're going to see a little bit of poking action out here.
And it looks like Puma's moving out now, but we are having a lot of chrono boosts in these double gateways, and the SCV does see the chrono boost in the gateways. Puma has to sprint immediately back, as he knows that the threat of Bischu is present outside his natural now, and he will want to go in the bunker and just hide around it.
Bit sloppy for Bischu not to clean up the SCV. That was information he didn't need to give away, and it has given a little bit of an edge to Puma. Poking up this ramp, certainly still a possibility. The engagement's coming in right now. Zella is at the front, and Stalker's now focusing fire on the bunker. The bunker goes down before the repairs can actually happen. It doesn't even have to use force fields to prevent that, but still there are a lot of Marines, and Puma is driving that force back. And honestly, with only two gateways behind it, it's going to be a bit difficult. Puma's control is excellent, and Bischu's is going to be really good. He's baking him out of position, but he's losing Stalker after Stalker, and Puma forces this back for the moment.
Indeed he does, but he can't lose too many Stalkers here. He loses another one to just Marines here.
Sloppy.
His control is not the best, and Puma is getting a good efficiency trade here. But remember, this wasn't additional gateways. This is just two gateways with chrono boost spent into it. So he does have decent tech still. He has the robotics facility up, which he's going to chrono boost and observer to scout, but takes a few more hits on that. And I'm just going to have a look at the units lost, and you can see that he lost 300 minerals, basically, or 300 resources. So it's like two Stalkers for free there.
Absolutely, and that really wasn't all that necessary as far as I'm concerned there. He's going to try and snipe at that bunker just a little bit more here, but it's beyond the point where he can really do anything. Now he's going to revert into what you would kind of expect from Bischu. Bischu's a big double forge player, and that's what he's going to be playing for the moment. Double forge is on its way. In the meantime, Puma has got a few barracks up, 3 in total there. Doing the swap around, just going to play straight up Marine Marauder Medivac for the time being.
Yeah, I wonder if Bischu's going to rush straight into Archons rather than use the robotics facility. I mean, he's going double upgrade, so he's going to have to get the Twilight Council soon anyway, otherwise he can't continue with the upgrade progression. And the reason why I asked that question is because I feel that he's grabbed the third and fourth gas immediately on the natural, and so he's going to be having a decent gas income, and of course he doesn't want to stay on just gateway units, but at the same time he can't really go up to Colossus, I don't feel, if he's going to go for the Twilight Council in the next few minutes. So I feel that he's just going to be going for a very Zealot Archon style, but he loses, from what it seems, every single Stalker at that north side.
Yeah, that's rather unfortunate, isn't it? And absolutely unnecessary. And Puma now has a big edge in terms of his army, i.e. he has one, whereas his opponent really does not. He's gone double upgrades. He is getting an Immortal out, but Puma, that force is a little bit battered, but it's still got an awful lot of guns that are not available here. He will be able to force field this ramp, assuming that he doesn't mess that up, and that'll hold them off for a little while. The scan goes down, he knows what he's up against, and he'll want to pressure it anyway, even if it doesn't really matter for force fields, because there's a couple of medevacs there, and it's an easy lift above those force fields. He's going to stim in it. Bischu doesn't react anywhere near fast enough. Puma absolutely crushes that. This could be GG right here.
Bischu, I don't know what's going on, if it's the nerves on stage, but this entire